Hey, so I'm going to be showing you how my hair tool works, and what it does is it helps you animate anything that has follow through, such as capes, tails, even maybe like these ears or hair too. So to get it working, you want to download the hair tool. Oh, look at that. I'm going to go into the my Python directory, so this is where all my Python scripts live. If you need help setting one up, make sure to check out my modules video. So drag the hair tool in there, and we're going to open that up in the script editor. File, open script, and go to the hair tool. You want to open the build UI. So highlight everything and run it. And open up over here. So here's the hair tool, and you just follow instructions, select control chain in order, then press assign control. So the controls that we want to influence will be these tail controls, so select them in order, these guys, one by one, and press assign controls. Then we want to select the parent control, the thing that is going to drive all these, and anything down the chain will drive it, but this is the closest one. This is the parent. So that butt control, and now we click make hair curve. And make sure not to close down this window, because at the end we're going to bake results, and if you close it down it forgets all the stuff that it made. So don't close it down, just put it to the side while you work. So it makes all this stuff, show everything so you can see it. Makes a hair curve and a hair system that you can play around with. So give me some frames, a bunch of frames, and under the effects menu, make sure you hit the interactive play to see it all in action. Hit play, ta-da, it's all live and being animated. So if we wiggle the butt, and the hair follows. Sweet, and go back to start. But we don't want it to collide with, or we don't want it to, go through our dock. So we can make a collider. That's simple enough to set up with a sphere. Stick it in there. There it is. And we want to make sure the sphere has a parent constraint. Constraint parent, yeah. And we want to make the sphere a passive collider. So go to Incloth, create passive collider. And now when we hit play, go boink. That little wonkiness was because the sphere is penetrating the hair. The hair starts at the start of the curve right there, and it's kind of hitting it. So you want to make sure your sphere is not hitting it there. Oh, it did not like that. Okay, so let's delete the parent constraint, move it a little bit so it's not hitting, and re-parent constraint it. Constraint parent. Oop, oh, it's still hitting it. Well, you can play around with it some more, but you can see that now it's, smacking the butt. But if we don't want it to smack the butt, then we can play around with these settings and stretch resistance, crank up all the way that up. 200, yeah. Let's make this 200 as well. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so now it's 6 straight up, even. And then if I wiggle it around, still stick straight up. And you can play with those settings to make it more stiff, less stiff, however you want it. But you can retain the shape and it'll still wiggle around. So once you're happy with the results, let's say you want to animate this real quick. So little butt wiggle in action from side to side. And what you're seeing right now is not what you're actually going to get, because I'm just setting down keyframes. once you hit this interactive playback, it's a little more. Yeah. So if you're happy with the results, you animate it, and then you mess with the hair system. There's also the nucleus. Nucleus has wind speed, wind direction, noise you can add. So you got, yeah, let's add a bunch of wind speed, and it animates wind for you. Gets it a little more noise in there. But once you're happy with results, you just go select your start frame and end frame of the bake keys and press bake motion and clean. And then that will bake the simulation and leave you these things which you can just grab and delete. We don't need those. But now our curves all have keys. And if we scrub, then we see that it's still working. So if you wanted to animate something looping, you would use the animation curves to make sure you set your curve at the first pose, and then set the same pose at the last keyframe, and give it some distance to blend in between. You could have something loop, so it doesn't have to start with this pose. Just make sure that whenever you run the script the first time that it's all down one axis. So think of like an IK setup. You only want the joints to be rotated in one axis. Same with this. But yeah, that's the hair tool in action. Hope you can use it in your workflow.